Welcome to advanced training. Your first mission originally...
Hi everyone, it's Richard.
And I'm Dave.
And yeah, today Dave, we're looking at Hitman, the beta on PC and PlayStation 4. And yeah, to begin with, I think what we're doing here, we're kicking off with the budget PC paired with GTX 750 Ti, which we've overclocked, and AMD's R7 360, which is kind of their equivalent budget part.
Yeah, and we're running with almost console equivalent settings. The only thing that is lower is textures, which is set to low because the game won't allow us to set them any higher.
Yeah, it kind of automatically sets the texture depending on your VRAM level, so it looks like if you've got a 2GB card, you're going to get low quality textures, which isn't particularly great. But yeah, the interesting thing here is that the PlayStation 4 version runs with an unlocked frame rate, so we can do the same on PC easily enough, and we can get like a like-for-like comparison of actually how our budget cards compare. And usually there's like a 30 frames per second cap there, which kind of limits the console performance. So here we can actually see exact like-for-like performance. But what I would say is that the 30 FPS cap probably would have been a good thing on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, definitely. It is. When the frame rate does get unlocked, there tends to be a lot of judder with camera movement. So if you're sneaking around slowly, it's not a problem, and you get a nice boost with the extra performance. But in action scenes, not really.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting here that both of the budget cards are being significantly outperformed by the PlayStation 4 here, and something that we actually noticed with the 390 and the 970 was that AMD had an advantage, and that actually scales up to an even larger degree to a certain extent here, because I believe that in terms of lowest recorded frame rates, that's really important, and here AMD obviously has an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, my take on it is perhaps they've optimised around the PlayStation 4 hardware, and we're seeing an advantage on PS4 due to like the closed box nature of the platform. Yeah. But that also seems to translate to the AMD cards on PC.
Mr. Mechanic. To advanced
well, here we're revisiting 970 and 390. We've overclocked the 970, and we can't really do that on the 390 because it's a big old card and it already pumps out a lot of heat. So yeah, what we're trying to do here is to get 1080p 60 locked gameplay on PC, and we're using console equivalent settings.
Yep, it's identical to console, so high textures. The only upgrade with C is the use of SMAA instead of FXAA.
Yeah, it definitely produces a better result overall. There's much less in the way of texture blur, and it's kind of almost free on PC. And well, as you can see here, we do hit 60 FPS for the most part, just a couple of tiny little glitches on the AMD card, and yeah, it's not bad at all. But we do actually see a sizable drop in the cutscene where the AMD card actually takes point, even with the 970 being overclocked.
Yeah, we do, but once we get into gameplay, we find that it's the overclocked GeForce that gives us the solid 60 we want, whereas there are still some, frame rate drops on the AMD. They're not bad, but the experience isn't quite as consistent.
But it is funny that well, if you said to somebody that to run Hitman at 1080p 60 on a GTX 970 you need to run at medium settings, I don't think they'd be too happy about that. And if you look at the game visually, it doesn't look that advanced, so you're kind of at a loss to wonder why we're having to have this extreme hardware to get this level of performance.
It's really disappointing. The problem is that the crowded sections, like on the ship here, tax performance heavily, but once we get outside of that, both cards can go a lot higher than 60 FPS in a lot of scenes, so that's a bit disappointing, to be honest, to see that.
I'll be interested to see how this all works out once we've got game-ready drivers and hopefully an optimization push from IO, but we are very, very close to release now. Anyway, that's all we've got for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do give us a like and subscribe if you'd like to support our work, but for now, thanks for watching.